You ever wonder why it feels like your soul has been pacing back and forth lately, like it knows something you don't? Why the nights feel heavier, and the silence somehow louder? Why you've been feeling like something is ending, and yet something greater is just out of reach? Because it is. There's a reason you've been feeling pulled from the inside out. A reason time has felt warped, strange, unfamiliar. Because today, May 6th, isn't just another date on the calendar. It's a divine alarm clock, ringing for you. Today, the universe is undergoing a rare alignment. A spiritual gate is cracking open. And only the awakened ones, only the chosen can feel what it means. It's more than a planetary shift. It's the breaking of an ancient cycle that has kept you, yes, you, looping through delay, heartbreak, scarcity, and confusion for far too long. And here's the truth. This alignment marks the moment that all of that ends. Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you will sound like a whisper from your own soul. And you know deep down, you didn't just stumble on this video. You were led here. You're not crazy for feeling like something's been chasing you. It's not anxiety. It's memory, spiritual memory, awakening inside you. You are remembering who you are. Not with your mind, with your spirit. And the reason you felt like you don't belong, the reason nothing has ever truly satisfied you, it's because you were never meant to live an ordinary life. You've always felt things more deeply. You've always known that you were here for something more. And I want you to understand this. The pain you've carried, the delays you've suffered, the betrayals you've survived, they weren't accidents. They were signals, initiations, proof that you've been chosen for what others cannot even perceive. But now, May 6, this is where the script changes. Before we go deeper, I want to release a special blessing into your life within the next 60 seconds. Quickly hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and smash the like button to help this message reach more chosen ones like you. Once you've done that, you've officially sent your request to the universe. Stay focused for the next 60 seconds, then type "Thank you, universe" in the comments to affirm your blessing. If you have any other prayer requests, feel free to leave them below as well. May God bless you even more abundantly. You see, spiritually speaking, this alignment marks a heavenly verdict. For years now, you've been circling the same mountain, same patterns, same emotional warfare, same limitations. You've seen people with less heart and less integrity pass you by. You've watched time move forward, while your blessings seemed locked in pause. And it's made you question everything. But the truth is, you weren't being punished. You were being preserved. Because what's coming to you now, after this alignment, is too sacred to be rushed. Too massive to be misused. This is the moment you've been prepared for. But here's what you must know. When old cycles break, they scream. And that's why the last few weeks, or even the last few years, have felt like internal chaos. Because you've been living in between worlds. Not fully in the past. Not yet in the future. But stuck in a hallway with no doors, and no light. It's been a spiritual cocoon. And now, the shell is breaking. That's why you've felt pressure. That's why you've been losing people. That's why the things you used to enjoy now feel hollow. It's all part of the shedding. Because cycles can't end quietly when they've had years, maybe lifetimes, of hold over you. But now the grip is being released. Not just symbolically, energetically, supernaturally. The May 6th alignment marks an agreement between heaven and earth. An agreement that the old is done. Your karmic debt. Cancelled. The spiritual opposition that was assigned to slow you down. Terminated. The veil that was hiding your path. Removed. And now, all the energy that was once used against you is turning in your favor. But here's the catch. Not everyone will notice. Only the chosen ones will feel this shift. Only those with spiritual ears can hear this frequency. That's why I'm not talking to a crowd. I'm talking to you. Yes, you. The one who's been misunderstood your whole life. The one who's always felt like a misfit in your own family. The one who always knew there was more, even when you couldn't prove it. This alignment is a divine confirmation. You were right. Your instincts were right. Your dreams were real. And now the season is catching up to the revelation you've been carrying for years. But hear me. Your old identity is incompatible with your new assignment. That's why your old relationships feel strange now. That's why the job you used to tolerate is now unbearable. That's why you can't go back, even when you try. Because something inside you refuses to shrink again. That something is truth. You can't unknow who you are anymore. You've been activated. And what this activation does, it forces separation. It forces elevation. It forces revelation. You see who's really with you. You see who was pretending. You see what was built on sand. Because this alignment isn't just ending a cycle, it's exposing it. And the exposure hurts. But it's necessary. Because where you're going, deception can't follow. You can't carry dead weight into your promised land. The May 6th portal is a sifting. It's pulling you out of what's fake and into what's sacred. Into your real timeline. Let me explain what that means. There's a timeline, the one you were born for. The life you saw in your spirit before the world taught you to settle. And then there's the counterfeit timeline, the one you've been surviving in. The one full of false starts and spiritual traffic and distractions disguised as good things. And now, the alignment is collapsing the counterfeit. That's why some things are falling apart fast. Don't fight it. Let the collapse happen. Because when one timeline ends, another begins. And the new one, it's already forming around you. Synchronicities, divine instructions, new connections, unexplainable peace, a deep inner knowing that you're finally stepping into your truth. That's not wishful thinking. That's evidence. Evidence that the curse is broken. Evidence that the warfare is ending. Evidence that the real you, the hidden you, the you that's been praying in secret and crying in silence, is about to be revealed in public. And not for ego, not for show, but for purpose. Because you've been chosen for this moment. You're not like them. You never were. You weren't made to blend in. You were built to break patterns. To end generational cycles. To walk in abundance, not just money, but wisdom, clarity, and divine authority. But don't be surprised if the enemy tries one last time. Because endings attract resistance. You'll be tempted to go back. You'll be tempted to second-guess yourself. To shrink. To explain. To dim your light so others feel comfortable. Don't. This is your crossover. This is your exodus. And the only thing you owe the past is a silent wave goodbye. From here on out, the old keys will not open new doors. Because the frequency has changed. And only those who are aligned will move forward with ease. So if things start moving fast for you after today, if doors swing open, if connections come out of nowhere, if blessings rush in, don't sabotage it by overthinking. You've suffered long enough. Now it's time to receive. But not just blessings. Revelation. That's what this is really about. Abundance isn't just about things. It's about truth. It's about alignment. It's about being in the right place, with the right people, doing the right thing, at the right time. And guess what? You are. Right now. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And even though your outer world may still look uncertain, your inner world is shifting. That's the real sign. So don't let what you see fool you. Feel the truth. You're not crazy. You're not lazy. You're not unlucky. You're in transition. And transitions feel like chaos before they feel like clarity. But clarity is coming. That's the promise of May 6th. Let me tell you something you already know deep inside. This wasn't a random season of suffering. This wasn't just bad luck, or poor timing, or you missing some opportunity by accident. No, what you've been walking through was divinely allowed, not to break you, but to break the pattern. You see, old cycles don't die with silence. They die with struggle. And what you've been wrestling with lately isn't because you're failing. It's because you're outgrowing what was never meant to hold you in the first place. You've been in a spiritual tug-of-war, And that rope in the middle? It's your identity. The false version of you has been clinging to survival. But the real you, the chosen you, is rising now, and everything that doesn't fit that version of you has to go. And it's going. It's being ripped out of your life not to punish you, but to set you free. But let's get specific. Why did it feel like every door was locked? Why did it feel like every time you took one step forward, life pushed you 2 steps back? Because you were being hidden. You weren't being denied. You were being protected. Just like a seed is hidden underground before it becomes a tree, you were buried on purpose. Not to die, but to take root. And those roots, that pain, that solitude, they are why you're about to rise without apology. Because when abundance comes, it's not just money or material. It's the harvest of every tear, every no, every moment you chose faith instead of fear, every time you showed love when they gave you hate, every time you stayed pure in a world that rewards deception. That's the abundance you're walking into. And here's the mystery you need to hear. In the spiritual realm, harvest doesn't follow effort, it follows alignment. That means you're not about to be blessed because of what you did. You're about to be blessed because of who you became while you were waiting. You became obedient. You became strong. You became faithful, even when your faith was being tested like fire. And now the spiritual realm recognizes you. Now the veil is thin. Now heaven is opening. And the enemy knows it. That's why the warfare got worse lately. That's why it feels like the people closest to you suddenly turned distant. That's why you're getting hit in areas you thought were healed. Because darkness always makes one last push before it loses its grip. But I'm here to tell you, it already lost. You're not going in circles anymore. This is not another false start. The May 6th alignment was the divine announcement. It is finished. And when heaven says it's finished, nothing on earth can restart it. You are stepping into divine compensation. Yes, the years the locusts stole are being restored. Yes, the time you thought was wasted is being redeemed. But more than that, you're being realigned with your original blueprint. Not the version of you shaped by trauma. Not the one programmed by fear or failure. But the pure version. The anointed version. The chosen one version. And that version is dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Because when you step into who you truly are, you break chains without trying. You heal people just by being present. You speak and strongholds collapse. And that's why the pressure has been unbearable, because your power is uncontainable. Let me ask you, haven't you noticed how your presence makes some people uncomfortable? How even when you're silent, they get defensive? It's not you they're reacting to, it's the anointing on you. It's the light in you that exposes what's still hiding in them. And this is why many couldn't stay connected to you. It's not rejection, it's revelation. They couldn't handle the version of you that was emerging. Because that version wasn't willing to play small anymore. That version wasn't going to pretend just to keep the peace. And so people fell away. Opportunities dried up. Paths that once looked promising suddenly went dark. But that wasn't the devil. That was God, clearing the stage for the real story to begin. And the first chapter of this new story starts now. With you, walking in clarity. With you, speaking with authority. With you, receiving without guilt. And I mean that, no more guilt when good things come. No more questioning if you're worthy. You are. You've always been. But now, you're finally starting to believe it. That's the key. Because the moment you believe it, you unlock it. You don't manifest with your words. You manifest with your agreement. And that's what this alignment is about, getting your mind, your spirit, and your decisions in agreement with who God already said you are. No more delay. No more sabotage. No more rehearsing old pain like it's your identity. That story is over. This is a new scroll, a new script, a new sound. And that sound, it's already vibrating in your soul. You can feel it when you wake up. That urgency. That pressure. That invisible pull toward something greater. It's not your imagination. It's your future calling you. And the bridge between where you are and where you're going. It's faith. But not blind faith. Aligned faith. Faith that says, even if I don't see it yet, I'll walk like it's already done. Faith that says, even if I've been disappointed before, I still believe. Faith that says, I trust the process even when I don't understand the pattern. Because patterns lie. But the process is truth. And the process has been refining you. You've lost. You've wept. You've walked alone. But you didn't give up. And that's why the oil on your life will be different. That's why your breakthrough will be uncommon. That's why your influence will be unshakable. Because you earned this. Not through performance, but through perseverance. And now, the very pain that once made you question your worth is becoming the power that confirms it. So don't be shocked when people start treating you differently. Don't be surprised when they start calling you lucky. They won't understand the cost. They didn't see the nights you cried on the floor. They didn't hear the prayers you whispered when no one else was around. They won't know what it took to become who you are now. But heaven knows. And that's all that matters. Because you don't need validation from people when you have confirmation from God. And right now, that's exactly what this is. Confirmation. You are on time. You are seen. You are chosen. And even though it still feels uncertain, trust me when I tell you, it's working. Let's go deeper. Because now, your soul is listening in a way it never has before. You're not just hearing these words, you're feeling them, aren't you? That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. See, when the old cycle ends, it doesn't just change what's happening around you. It changes what you can finally hear. You're beginning to recognize the divine language your life has been speaking all along. The delays weren't denials, they were divine protection. The closed doors weren't rejection, they were redirection. The loss wasn't punishment, it was pruning. And now, for the first time in a long time, you're starting to see the order in the chaos. You thought everything was falling apart. But heaven was rearranging the pieces. And now, piece by piece, it's coming together. Not perfectly, but purposefully. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed how your appetite has changed lately? You don't crave chaos like you used to. You're no longer drawn to the noise, the drama, the fake connections. Even the things that used to numb your pain, they don't work anymore, do they? That's because your spirit is healing. And healing will always shift your taste. You're no longer hungry for survival. You're hungry for truth. And truth tastes different. It cuts first. Then it heals. And the truth is, you are the disruption in your bloodline. You are the one heaven assigned to end what's been repeating for generations. Poverty ends with you. Emotional slavery ends with you. Self-sabotage ends with you. And that's why your life hasn't been easy. Because nothing about your assignment is common. You are not here to repeat, you're here to rebuild. But let's be real. There were moments when the weight of that truth nearly crushed you, weren't there? When you asked, why me? Why was I born into this? Why did I have to be the strong one? Why did I have to carry so much, so young? Why couldn't I just live a normal life? But deep down, you already knew the answer. Because normal was never the assignment. Chosen was. And chosen is not glamorous. It's costly. Chosen means being misunderstood. It means feeling everything deeply. It means waking up with burdens you can't explain. It means being called to stand when everyone else sits. It means holding the torch when no one else will. But it also means you carry light that others will find shelter in. You carry wisdom that will unlock generations. You carry authority that even hell respects. And on May 6th, when the alignment took place, the heavens marked it. That's when the old battles ended. Not the ones around you, the ones in you. Because the real war has never been external. It's always been internal. It's been between your potential and your programming. Between who you really are and who life told you to be. But that war, it's over. You're no longer trying to become, You're now remembering who you've always been. And that remembrance, that's where the miracles begin. Because the moment you remember, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop begging and start commanding. You stop waiting and start walking. You walk like you know who you are. You speak like heaven hears you. You move like the atmosphere bends for you. And guess what? It does. Creation responds to alignment. That's why now, the right people are being drawn to you. Opportunities are reappearing. Things that didn't work before are suddenly flowing. Why? Because it's not about what changed outside, it's about what shifted in you. You stopped doubting yourself. You stopped fighting your calling. You stopped negotiating with your old self for permission to be powerful. And because of that, doors are opening. But not just any doors, the right doors. And here's the truth. The right doors often appear at the wrong time. Because God doesn't operate on your calendar, He operates on your character. And now that your character has been refined through fire, pressure, and silence, you're ready. Even if you don't feel ready, you're ready. Because you're not being led by feelings anymore. You're being led by knowing. A deep inner knowing that says, this is my moment. This is my season. This is my confirmation. And you don't have to explain that knowing to anyone. Because the ones assigned to your next chapter will already know. They won't need convincing. They'll recognize your frequency. They'll hear your spirit before you even speak. They'll support your vision without needing proof. Because they've been called to walk with you, not watch you. And that's the kind of tribe that's forming around you now. Not fans, but fellow builders. Not admirers, but allies. Not people who want your light, but people who bring oil to keep it burning. And this is why it had to take so long. This is why the loneliness was necessary. Because God was removing the wrong people so you could recognize the right ones. He was silencing the noise so you could hear the whisper. He was stripping you down so you could be rebuilt with truth. And now, you're not just healed, you're whole. You're not just strong, you're stable. And you're not just aligned, you're activated. Let me speak to your heart for a moment. The version of you that used to tolerate dysfunction is gone. The version that needed external validation is gone. The version that kept shrinking to make others comfortable is gone. What's left? Power, grace, depth, clarity. And with that comes attraction. You're not going to need to force anything in this season. You're not going to have to beg, chase, or prove. Because what's for you will recognize you. And what's not for you will fall away without effort. That's the power of alignment. And alignment is the inheritance of the chosen. So if it feels like you're being pulled somewhere new, it's because you are. Your spirit is already there. Now your mind is catching up. Don't resist it. Don't overthink it. Don't ask for a sign when your entire life has been one. This is your moment to leap. This is your moment to receive. And not just survive, but to overflow. Because you are not just called to walk in abundance. You're called to release it. Wherever you go, abundance follows. Wherever you speak, faith is stirred. Wherever you stand, the ground shifts. Because you are not common. You are not forgotten. You are not delayed. You are chosen. And the moment you own that, nothing can stop what's next. Now, let me take you into a deeper layer, because you're ready for it. You've crossed the threshold. You're no longer in the hallway between who you were and who you're becoming. You're standing in the room now. And in this room, the light feels different. Because truth always exposes what shadows tried to hide. And here's the truth you need to feel in your bones. You were never broken. You were buried. Buried under layers of conditioning. Buried under other people's expectations. Buried under wounds you didn't cause but carried anyway. But now the soil is cracking. And the light that's breaking through, it's coming from within you. That's the shift this May 6th alignment initiated. It didn't just align planets, it aligned your truth with your time. And when your truth meets divine timing, Doors open that no man can shut. Let me reveal something sacred to you. Your silence has been working louder than your words. Because while others were busy trying to be seen, you were becoming substance. While they performed, you transformed. While they chased validation, you sat with your shadow. And that's why what's coming to you now is not hype, it's harvest. Don't apologize for it. Don't shrink from it. You didn't skip steps. You paid in full. With your tears. With your prayers. With your surrender. And now the repayment is coming in ways you didn't even ask for. Because when heaven pays you back, it adds interest. Let me make this personal. You've noticed how certain things are returning to you. Visions, ideas, gifts you had as a child. That's not nostalgia. That's restoration. Because the enemy couldn't destroy your purpose, so he tried to distract you from it. He made you think your sensitivity was weakness. He made you believe your isolation was punishment. He tried to convince you that your purity made you naive. But you're seeing now. Your sensitivity was your discernment. Your isolation was your incubation. Your purity was your power. And now, because you protected what was sacred inside of you, heaven is about to showcase it. That's why doors are about to open that you didn't knock on. That's why people are about to honor you in rooms you've never stepped into. Because this next season won't be about striving, it'll be about standing. You've already done the hard part. You didn't quit. You didn't sell out. You didn't become bitter. And that makes you dangerous. Because a chosen one who knows their worth is a walking weapon against every lie the world tried to feed you. And let me speak this clearly into your life right now. The shame that has followed you ends now. That voice that said you're too much, too broken, too late, it's a liar. You are not too late. You are right on time. You are not too broken. You are beautifully rebuilt. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. You're not even in recovery anymore. You're in release. This is your release season. Release from bondage. Release from guilt. Release from the cycles you didn't even start, but were assigned to finish. And now that the cycles are broken, you're free to receive. But here's the twist most people miss. Receiving takes more courage than surviving. Because receiving demands self-worth. You can fight through storms and still believe you're unworthy of sunshine. You can serve everyone else and still starve your own soul. But not anymore. You're done shrinking for comfort. You're done starving for crumbs. You're done begging for what you were born to carry. Now, you walk like royalty, not because you're arrogant, but because you've finally remembered the truth. The throne was always yours. You just forgot it during the war. Now you're stepping into authority. Not man-made authority. Divine. The kind that can't be taught, only activated. And what activates it? Truth. That's why this message is hitting you so deeply. It's not information, it's activation. It's waking up your spirit. It's calling your identity forward. And it's telling the version of you that was just surviving, you can rest now. The battle is over. The May 6th alignment didn't just shift planets. It shifted timelines. Yes, timelines. Because now, everything that was delayed is being accelerated. What should have taken years will happen in months. What you thought was lost will return doubled. What felt like detours will prove to be destiny in disguise. Because time obeys alignment. And now that you're aligned, time must serve you. So don't be surprised when favor starts flowing where there was once only frustration. Don't be confused when provision shows up before you ask. Don't second guess it when blessings come wrapped in unexpected ways. Because you're not operating by logic anymore. You're walking by revelation. And revelation doesn't follow rules. It breaks them. It shatters illusions. It exposes shortcuts. And it puts you exactly where you belong, even when it makes no sense to anyone else. Because grace doesn't need permission. It only needs space. And now that you've cleared space, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, grace is flooding in. Not just to help you cope, but to help you create. This is your creative season. You'll create from joy, from clarity, from rest, not from pain anymore. The old cycle taught you how to build in survival, but this new cycle is teaching you how to build in stability. And that's why you feel different lately. Less reactive, more rooted, less desperate, more deliberate, less heavy, more holy. You are becoming a walking sanctuary. People will come to you not because of what you have, but because of what you carry. Peace, vision, frequency, and you'll recognize your reflection in their eyes. Because the ones who are assigned to you now are also chosen. This is your new tribe. This is your real family. This is your confirmation that you are not alone. And never were. You just had to walk through the valley alone. So when you reached the table, you'd recognize who didn't belong. But now, the table is set. And your seat is waiting. You won't have to fight for it. You won't have to prove you belong. You'll just walk in and know. Because this is what alignment feels like. It doesn't force, it flows. It doesn't confuse, it confirms. It doesn't exhaust, it empowers. And from this day forward, that is the energy that will carry you. Not hustle, not fear, not panic, but power. Silent, steady, sovereign power. Now listen carefully, because this is where things start to get supernatural. There are moments in life when heaven doesn't just speak, it interrupts. It sends a pulse so deep into your spirit that everything false starts to fall away. That moment for you, it already happened. It happened when you stopped trying to control the narrative and started surrendering to the knowing. That inner knowing that whispered, this is not all there is. And from that moment, you started waking up. You started seeing things differently. People you used to admire now feel shallow. Rooms you once craved now feel small. Opportunities that used to impress you now seem empty. Why? Because you've outgrown the illusion. You've stopped chasing the things that never fed your soul. And here's what most people won't tell you. Outgrowing isn't glamorous. It's painful. It's lonely. It's confusing. Because one day you look around and realize you don't fit where you used to. Your laugh is different. Your energy is different. You were born to shift atmospheres, to shake old systems, to activate freedom in others, just by being yourself. And that's exactly what the May 6th alignment did. It exposed the imposters and crowned the originals. You are not just aligned, you are anointed. You carry something heaven can't duplicate and hell can't counterfeit. And now that you're walking in it, don't be surprised when people start revealing their true colors. Don't be shocked when you lose access to people you once called family. Because your new frequency is offensive to their old patterns. Your light agitates their shadows. Your peace triggers their chaos. Your clarity confronts their confusion. But hear me when I say this, that is not your problem. You are not responsible for other people's refusal to grow. You are only responsible for protecting your peace. And peace, for you now, is not a luxury, it's a requirement. Because peace is what preserves the oil. And you can't afford to let your oil be stolen by distractions dressed as duty. You can't pour into places God has already pulled you from. You can't invest in people who are addicted to your energy but allergic to your truth. Not anymore. Not in this season. This is not a season to rescue, it's a season to rebuild. And to rebuild, you must guard your gates, your eyes, your ears, your spirit. Because not everything deserves access. Not everyone can handle the weight of your destiny. Some people only loved the broken version of you because it made them feel needed. But now that you're healing, now that you're whole, now that you're no longer begging for crumbs, they don't recognize you. And that's okay. They weren't meant to. Because the version of you they loved was a survivor. But this version is a creator. And creators don't chase, they command. They don't compete, they conquer. They don't explain, they embody. And right now, that's what you're stepping into, embodiment. You're not just speaking truth, You are truth in motion. You're not just reading scripture, you are the fulfillment of it. You're not just dreaming big, you're birthing destiny. And this destiny, it's generational. What's coming through you isn't just for you, it's for those connected to you. Your children, your lineage, your spiritual legacy. You're not just building wealth, you're breaking poverty consciousness. You're not just setting goals, you're setting new standards. And these standards will become the new norm for everyone attached to you. Because that's what chosen ones do. We don't just break cycles, we establish kingdoms. But let me be honest, it's not always easy, is it? There are moments when your old wounds whisper, "Are you really worthy of this? Do you really think you can handle this next level? What if it all comes crashing down?" But hear me, that's not your voice. That's residue. That's the echo of a version of you that no longer exists. That's the fear of a mind that was trained in survival. But your spirit knows better now. Your spirit knows abundance is your birthright. Your spirit knows favor is your frequency. Your spirit knows joy is your new baseline. So don't let temporary feelings rob you of permanent breakthroughs. Because feelings are fleeting, but truth is eternal. And the truth is, you're not late. You're loaded. You're loaded with grace, with ideas, with solutions, with vision, with resilience. You were born for this. You were prepared for this. You were chosen for this.